This is a controversial production. Controversial production is to provoke thought, provoke conversation, and provoke people just talking, man. You know, this is not an attempt to be self-righteous, say that my way is the only way, say that my experience is the best experience. It's not. You know, it's controversial, and it is what it is. You dig? So, first question.
Hey, DT, and I'll be giving this interview.
That's my man.
What was the life before the streets?
The life before the streets. Well, we going all the way back, man. Mayonnaise sandwiches, syrup sandwiches, Pro-Cash, New Yorkers, Swedish Niche, shark skin pants, Sergio Valente. Yeah, them Sergios. You remember them Sergios? You had a pair of them Sergios. Yeah, yeah. And the Spaldings with the wings on the side. Yeah, those were, listen, yeah, skinny jeans back then. You know, I only wore skinny because we ain't had no money. We ain't had no choice. But I listen, a can of pork and beans right out the can, man. Like that was what's going on. Rice with no meat. Yeah, that's what was happening. You know what I mean? Like we wasn't really complaining. You know, how you gonna complain? For real, we wasn't complaining. We made do with what we had. Real simple. We made do with what we had, man. You know, but what I did miss and what I didn't like about back then was the dysfunction of my family, man. You know what I mean? Like in the midst of, you know, trying to find happiness, you know, like my father was in and out my life. My uncle spent the time that he could spend with me, but he was an alcoholic. My aunt used to sing with Kool and the Gang, Carol. You know, those who know about Kool and the Gang when they originally started, my Aunt Carol was one of their singers. Pretty, you know what I mean? She died from cancer. She was, you know, she used to get high too. We didn't know why she was getting high, but she had cancer, and by her getting high, killed the pain. I carried that for a long time. You know what I mean? We talked about, you know, moving from house to house. You know, for whatever reason we had to move. But I remember how, you know, this February, that this cold February night was snowing, man. It was like a blizzard outside, and my father had came home again, being drunk, high, whatever he was. My mom's had worked all day, and he came in the house putting his hands on my mother, and like she was like, that's it. You know what I mean? She fought back, but as soon as he went upstairs, she's like, come on, we out. And she took us in our pajamas, man, and she never looked back. And it reminds me of the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, when God told Lot's wife not to look back. And when she looked back, she turned into a pillar of salt. My mother never looked back, man. She never looked back. And as a direct result of her never look back, man, like she did the very best that she could to give us what we needed. And even sometimes what we wanted, man. Like my mom's is my rock, man. And I believe everybody out there that love their moms dearly, you know, my mom's was my rock. I don't know about your mom. My mom's is my rock, man. And I love you, Mom. You still living. Keep your head up. God got you like he got me. You know, but my mom's did her thing, man. My mom's did her thing. Not only did she raise her 3 children, she took in her brother's son, which my brother probably ain't gonna never see streets again. He's my cousin, but I call him my brother. And we live, man, we live. You know, we finally got settled down in 1979, which we still own that property today. Let me say, my mother owns to this day, because I don't own that property. We're gonna clarify that. My mother, you know, they bought, you know, my mother, my grandma, they bought a property, and we was stable, man. We was settled, like we never had to move again. You know, and the story began. You know, like, you know, I did a lot of things as a youth, man, and I believe some of my behavior was related or, you know, associated to my father not being there. And I'm not even going to say my father, just like a positive, even though it was his responsibility to raise me because I was his son. But I believe that a strong male role model, the absence of that, you know, played a part in my life. You know, I had behavior. I was a problem. I was a real problem, man. I was a problem in grammar school, really. You know, I'm not bragging about it. You know, I'm not proud about it. You know, I got put out of 5 grammar schools. 5 grammar schools for my behavior. And that behavior was not listening, not following directions, fighting. Fighting was the main one. Because people used to pick. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and that ain't, like I said, ain't nothing changed from back then to right now. Kids still are cruel. They still pick. They're still bullies. That stuff still goes on. But I wasn't I wasn't one of the ones who was having it. You know, if I was picked on, I stood up. You know, I remember one lunchtime they tried to jump me for my little lunch money. You know what I mean? I fought all three of them. I remember the project kids used to come up to the school and, you know, rob people. Well, I fought them too. You know, I remember in school how this big girl, it was a real big girl. She was an Amazon. You know what I mean? She tried to take my lunch money too, and I broke her finger. You know, and I got in trouble. I got put out. You know, I remember one dude, you know, he was hitting on me all day in school. When I got out, I chased him around the school with a log. They put me out. You know what I mean? You know, so I don't know if I was out of pocket. I don't know if I needed anger management. Yeah, I don't listen, man. I don't know. I don't know. But I know they say I was a problem in grammar school. And in the 8th grade, you know, I had a little issue, and I brought a gun to school. I brought a gun to school, not understanding the consequences of what would have happened if I would have pulled that trigger. You know, so my grammar school days was rough. You know, nobody thought I was going to go to high school. Not only did I go to high school, I progressed in high school. I got better. You know, I think that was a direct result of playing ball. Sports was my safe haven, man. Sports was my safe haven. You know, I found out I had a little talent in the 7th and 8th grade, man. Like, I was the first one to get picked in every sport, basketball, baseball, football, you know, and I excelled at it. And when I got to high school, you know, it was a beautiful thing to have grown people, grown strangers not know you and want to be around you. You know what I mean? My first school was St. Anthony's. Number 1, number 2, number 3 in the country for the last 40 years, Mr. Hurley. Shout out to the Hurley family. You know, I played ball with them. But then something went wrong there, to where as though I seen something. My sisters wanted to follow the St. Anthony's, and I seen they was giving other people tuition breaks, but they wouldn't give me a tuition break, so I said, I'm out. So I went to their rival, Ferris. And when I went to Ferris, you know, everything took off, man. I excelled. 3-letter man, excelled in all 3 sports, varsity in all 3 sports, and did my thing. You know what I mean? Like, the ball was my thing, man. You could not tell me I wouldn't have been doing some Bo Jackson stuff or some Mike Vick stuff. You know, but my plan ain't God's plan. It just ain't. You know, unfortunately, none of those things happened, man. You know, so when that dream got smashed, you know, I caught resentment. You know, I was frustrated with life. I blamed a lot of people. I blamed a lot of things, you know, and I got down about life. You know, that was my out. And when my out got taken from me, I felt some type of way. I didn't know what I was feeling, you know, but I felt some type of way. And then some other things started happening, you know, some substituting, you know what I mean? Like the streets came about. You know what I mean? But always in the back of my mind, man, that's all I ever wanted to do was play ball. But before the life, man, my life from 5 that I can remember up into getting out of high school, man, I'm here to tell you, like, high school was a ball, man. I missed 45 days in 4 years. You know, that says a lot. You know, I used to love going to school, man. I miss it. You know, but it is what it is, man. Everything is destined. Everything was already written. You know what I mean?